of all the books in the Bible, the book that for a long time I was just baffled by, and not just baffled and confused, but frustrated, and I tended to avoid it. It's not a long book. It's a book called Ecclesiastes, and like Proverbs and Song of Solomon, it's written by Song of Solomon, the son of David, the wisest man who ever lived. But as you read this book, again, it's not long. It's only 12 chapters, and they're not long chapters. You can read it in an hour or so. But it's very easy to miss the point of the entire book because you get just too lost in the thought process of it. I would encourage you, if you're struggling with a time of depression right now, this may not be the best book in Scripture for you to read. It investigates the topic of significance and meaning in life. And it doesn't take him long. In verse 3 of chapter 1, or actually verse 2, he says, meaningless. Meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. We're talking one small existential crisis right here. What does he mean by that? What do people gain from all their labors at which they toil under the sun? Generations come, generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises, the sun sets, hurries back to where it rises. The winds blow to the south and turn to the north. Round and round and round it goes, ever returning to its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome. More than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear has a fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There's nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, there's something new? It has already been here long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. Wow! Have a happy day in Jesus. Thanks for joining us on WAlK Thru Voices. You read that, and he's forcing us to quickly get to the point of despair that he arrived at. And he wants us to feel that to the core of our being before he begins hinting at solutions that really, he's not going to lay it out and go, here's the 4 points. Just do this and life will be better. He wants to guide us in the process of discovery. And in the pages that follow, I mean, he goes through, I tried everything. I tried wisdom, accumulation of knowledge, but there's always another book to read. Ever feel that way? I remember in school I'd finish and I'd do okay on a test, and then I'd look and there's a paper due in 2 more days. There's never enough time to read all the books, and you read one and that makes you want to read 3 others, and there's just, if that's an end in and of itself, it doesn't satisfy. So he jumps over and he pursued pleasure. Especially Solomon pursued sexual pleasure. He collected wives and concubines like they were a butterfly collection. He wanted one from each different culture. And though there was the thrill of the conquest in that, it didn't satisfy over time. I mean, he goes on and on. He tries building projects, but that just makes you think, I should have built it better. I should have made it more ostentatious. Everything that he tries as a goal in and of itself leaves him absent of the fulfillment that he craves. Ever feel like that? I mean, even ministry, even things related to building a family, if they are a goal in and of themselves, they fail to satisfy. Well, this continues on for 11 chapters, really into the 12th chapter. But finally, and there are hints along the way, by the way. When you read this, you need to read it with a pen in hand to circle some things and go, oh, there's a hint of hope. You'll see things he'll talk about moderation. Moderation is important. Don't study so much that you neglect sleep. Don't obsess on a topic or a pursuit. Balance in life is so important. There's hints along the way. I mean, he talks about, even with investments, the importance of diversification. Aren't we all experiencing that with the downturn of the stock market right now? And finally, when chapter 12, he gets to the end and he says, now all has been heard, verse 13, all has been heard. I'm out. You've heard all my results of my research. Here's the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. This isn't talking about just live in terror that God may catch you making a mistake. It's the kind of reverential awe of God that says, you have a perspective I will never have. You have wisdom. I will never collect enough of it. You spoke the world into existence and created it all in 6 days. What can I build that competes with that? And yes, Lord, you do give us pleasure. But sexual pleasure, not just for the physical enjoyment, but because it bonds a husband and a wife together in greater intimacy. Every good thing God gives us, in the book he says, enjoy those things. But they're not your goal. They're a gift from God. Live today in light of eternity, and it's not about success. It's about significance and losing ourselves in the big plan of God. Though that can make us feel insignificant, it's actually in that discovery that we begin to find meaning. And we say, meaningful, meaningful. It all can be meaningful. Enjoy your adventure in this book. Email me at phil@walkthrough.org. I want to hear what thoughts God takes you into through this. And I'm right there with you, discovering this along with Solomon. But it's not a book about despair. It's a book of discovery. We'll see you next time on Walk Through Voices.